So, man, I got to show you something more interesting. Look at this coffee, man. I'm going to surprise you. Okay, guess what smell that is? Smell it? I'm holding up the microphone. Smell it?
It's get it closer. It's strawberry and peach with a hint of Firestone.
Oh yeah, you're very close. It's actually rum
and some peppercorns.
No, it's rum, but it was a very good try. Hold on, there's another one.
It's Firewater.
What? It says your bandwidth is low.
Did you know that if you plug it in, it actually works?
Do you know what? The truth of the matter is, Max, I did know that. I don't want to sound smart or anything.
Yeah, I know. Surprising, I know.
Yeah, it's one of those rare times.
Yeah, my laptop. So just to give you a bit of context, my laptop is so old that my Wi-Fi is slower than my broadband connection.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good. You got to go and do things like try changing channels or get a better router or something like that.
My laptop is from 2009. I think it's past its prime.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. Just need a new one.
Yeah, we just keep convincing ourselves to have to buy new stuff.
I've looked at a barebone PC, and I think I'm gonna go for that one.
That's your style, Max. You've got a style with that kind of stuff, you know. People expect you to do that. No one expects you to buy like a PC from a shop that just works. You know, I expect you to actually smelt the metal that you create the case from.
They're pretty cool, actually. They're very cheap. I mean, £750. You get a better computer than most desktop.
I'll tell you a secret, Max. I used to build my own computers, and I'll tell you a crime I used to commit when I was young. And I think the statute of limitations applies here, so no one can arrest me, which was back in the day, and we're talking obviously around the time when people still rode horses. When all the
petrol was still dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. And I was young and had very little money. I was working in a computer shop, and I learned this trick there. Well, actually, the first thing you learned, this is on Tottenham Court Road. So you know where Tottenham Court Road is, right? Ooh. Tottenham Court Road. That was the place I used to go to buy computers. It was like it was just lined.
Remember, I grew up in Italy, so.
Oh, okay, all right. So on Tottenham Court Road in London, there's a line of computer, like all computer shops. It used to be. That's when you bought things at shops, and people used to go up and down the street looking for the best deal, and they were all built. We used to build them. So I used to sit in the office and build computers. And so how could you be competitive? And they were expensive. They were thousands, of pounds.
Still are.
And but thousands of pounds. But we used to put in each DRAM chip at a time. So to get 200 and they used to come in like 256K packs, not megs, dearies, K.
Yeah. I remember that.
And we used to and they had little legs and they had to stick them in, and you couldn't mess it up or you'd like blow the whole thing. Anyway, so what we ended up doing, like a lot of other people, was we would sell the computer at thousands of pounds at effectively no money, no profit at all. But the thing was, because you had so much traffic going up and down, is that people haggled so much over the cost of the computer that once they had made the mental decision to buy one, that everything else they just spent. So you'd like, you'll need a printer with that. And they'd be like, oh, God, yeah, I need a printer. Okay, well, I throw one of these in here. That's only a couple £100. They're like, well, I spent, £1,500. I do need a printer. And then you'd be like, do you have a cable? You don't have a cable. That's 25 quid. So you throw it together. I'm just telling you, 25 quid, £25 for a cable that we used to spend 99p to buy. By the time he walked out of that shop, we'd made no money on the computer, but every cable, every piece of software, everything else. Anyway, that's not the thing that was illegal. What I did was, which is totally illegal, allegedly, was software was very expensive back in the day. So you used to get a copy of Lotus 1, 2, 3 and everything else. But you could all the shops allowed you to take them back. Not shops like us, because we were small shops, we couldn't do that. But you bought software from the big department stores. You could take it back as long as it wasn't opened, because if you opened it, obviously the disks inside, you could have copied the software and used it. So I used to, when I was learning all the computer stuff, DBase and Lotus and everything else, I bought the games. I bought the software back, and rather than pay for the software, I invested in a laminating, not laminating, what's the a shrink wrapping machine. And I bought some shrink wrap plastic, because all shrink wrap is plastic. And what you do, so you'd open up the box, you'd install the software, you put the software back in the box, you'd get some shrink wrap software, you put it around, and then what the shrink wrapping machine did was it kind of sealed it all the way around, so that there was it's heat sealed it. But of course, all the plastic's kind of baggy. But then what you do is you get a hair dryer
and you just heat it,
and you heat the whole thing in it, and it shrink. Hence the name shrink wrap. It shrinks down onto the thing, and you take it back and you go, "Oh, so I bought it for my nephew, but he didn't want it." Yeah. Software. But anyway, that's what we used to do. Hey Max, so you've got this. You got the first one very close. I think you said strawberries and something. And
strawberries and Firestone and peppercorns. And,
but actually it was rum. So now have another guess. See if you can get this.
Yeah, I'm gonna try again. Okay.
Oh man.
I think that's like, I don't know, like Eastern Musk.
Eastern Musk. Oh, well, very good guess.
Eastern
very
Musk,
good guess.
And
so close.
I know, and I think I'm also getting a hint of caramelized acorn.
You no idea how close you are. It's maple syrup.
Perfect.
So,
there you go.
So this is flavored coffee, which, I tried the one flavored coffee. I think I've tried once or twice in my life and thought it was absolutely disgusting. And if you're into coffee, you don't want to drink flavored coffee, for the love of God. You want the coffee for the flavor. The coffee is the flavor.
Yeah, coffee flavored.
Right. You want the coffee to be the flavor, right?
Yeah.
But these guys, it's interesting. They're like, I know, we get that. Like, they're not saying anything different. But what they are saying is that some countries don't like coffee because they're traditionally they are tea drinking nations.
Like the UK.
Like the UK was, kind of still is. I mean, we all love our tea.
Kind of still is. If you have anyone coming home, I mean, I know it sounds weird because it doesn't really happen anymore. But in the time, if you have any tradesman or anything, can I make a coffee? Yeah, you make an espresso. They look at you and like,
yeah,
you put some hot water in it.
Yeah. What is this? I don't have enough of it.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. It's the enough factor. It's like when I was a kid, I used to buy chocolate by the kilo. I literally used to just go down the aisle, and I don't care what it was. It was just, how much am I getting for my money? That's the metric I used, and of course, very stupid. And probably why I became pre-diabetic. but these coffees are meant for people who are tea drinking nations who are maybe need a little bit of a nudge to go down the coffee route. So they made these coffees. They're very kind of very mild. And there's another one, raspberry, which I didn't bring up to the studio, which is my office. Studio just sounds way cooler. Yes. I didn't bring into the studio, Max, because I couldn't find it. And I think possibly my wife drank it all. But here's the interesting thing. So we were trying them. We were drinking them in a cafeteria because they're pre-ground. And I don't dislike them. I actually thought I actually put off
pour over.
Yes. And it wasn't as good in the pour over as it was in the French press. I got to be honest with you. But it could be also because I put the wrong ratios and I got to play around with it. I got to play around with it a bit more. But the thing is, what I find interesting about it is when I tried, for instance, that Nespresso, flavored Nespresso, it actually made me feel ill. I've got to be honest, it actually made me feel ill. Like, oh, it's creme brulee or something. Oh, I've got a creme brulee of this as well, so it'd be interesting to know. Because it's just too sickly. It was sort of strong with the flavor was all.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird. It's not right. It's like seeing someone with their legs facing the wrong way. Like, if you ever see someone with their knees pointing backwards, right? I mean, you don't want to judge. No one wants to judge somebody unfortunate who's got their legs on the wrong way, but you'd be like, that's just not right. That's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's how I felt about coffee flavors. These ones, I'm not going to say they're my favorite. I'm not going to say that I absolutely fell in love and I found a new dimension. What I will say is that I actually did like them and I will drink them. And also, my wife really likes them, and my son actually likes them. Now, my son says the same thing as me. I prefer like a really good quality coffee. But he said this is actually pretty nice. He was talking about the raspberry one. Doesn't like rum. He made lots of faces about the rum one, but then he doesn't like rum. So, I mean, fair enough.
Yeah, rum is actually, I think it's an acquired taste because it's for younger people, there's too much bitterness. And then eventually you start getting the sweetness because your perception of bitterness goes away with age.
I have that is just such a lie. I can't believe that. Really? Like, rum's not bitter. Rum's full of sugar, right?
Yes. And the barric that they use, the tannins that it takes from the barrel that is aged into, it's very bitter.
I had no idea. I'm not really sure. I don't really drink. I drink maybe once a year. So
yeah, but like cognac or whiskey, any sort of these kind of liquors. A youngster, I mean,
they don't like the whiskeys, do they? They don't like. I love whiskey, but I just don't drink. But if I do, I've got about 4 bottles of good quality Japanese and Scottish whiskey in my cupboard. I don't know why it's there. Maybe I'm aging it. I don't know. I'm aging myself as well. So I'm waiting till I get to a good age to drink it. What I figure is, I'm going to reach this point in my life one day, Max, where one day I'm just going to be, it's just, I don't know, my life's going to change so fundamentally that I'm just going to pull that bottle of whiskey out. I'll sit somewhere and maybe it'll be somewhere nice, or maybe it'll be awful. Maybe it'll be the end of the world, or maybe it'll be somewhere amazing. And I'll be like, it's a good time to pull out that bottle of whiskey. I'm going to know when the time is right.
Going to know when it is the time. Yes.
So this coffee, Max, this coffee was a surprise to me, actually. And I've also got some capsules from them.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I've got some. So my next Nespresso machine arrived today. I got a little Magimix. It's like a little one because the first Nespresso machine that we bought. Yeah. Was the Virtuo one, which is the new. It's got the new types of capsules.
Yes.
So, and of course, because the capsules are patented, you can't get third-party capsules. Whereas these, I'm pointing at nothing. I have no idea what I'm pointing at. There's not even any capsules there. But you can't see there's not capsules there, so we can pretend.
Let's pretend that we have capsules.
Yeah, but these capsules right here that you can't see, these capsules are the old ones that that the patent ran out on, and so there's lots of third parties making compatible capsules for it. So I've got a bunch of capsules from them, and one of the most interesting ones that I've got from them is it's not even coffee. And again, it's we're tying this into how different markets are drinking coffee, but they're like these health capsules, and they've got all of this like mixture of antioxidants and beetroot and infused magnesium or something.
So I can actually
chemicals around. Yeah,
I can actually send you a paper on people using these machines to extract natural products.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm serious.
Oh my God.
It's a group that I think they are from Brazil, so they don't have lots of money for fancy instruments, and typically to do these kind of things you use what is called supercritical fluid extraction.
What?
So it's basically it's CO2 under a lot of pressure that is liquid, so it's very hydrophobic, and you put it inside your capsule. The CO2 solubilizes everything that is hydrophobic and takes it away, and then you can extract it. So it's a very clean, very easy, and very environmentally friendly extraction. But it's a very expensive machine. It's a very expensive instrument. You get actually very similar results using an espresso machine because you can heat up the solvents. In that case, you wouldn't be using CO2, but you would be using solvents. So like, I don't know, acetonitrile, ethanol, methanol, whatever you want to use. And it fills up the capsule, and then the capsule breaks out and it releases at the same pressure because it's a pressurized capsule. Right. And it's so consistent that they actually have a patent on it. Wow. And they use it. They suggest it. It's actually quite a cool thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give this a go. He's given me they've sent me very kindly so much stuff to try. It's going to take me a while to get through it all.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen the video you sent me.
But by the end of the year, I should have had a good start at it. So I hope they weren't expecting anything out of me before December. But no, we're going through it. I'm just a little surprised. I wasn't quite sure what to say. He said he'd send them to me, how I was going to like let him down gently by saying I didn't like any of it. It was all awful. But it's not awful. It's actually quite mild. The only thing I'd say, and I can totally understand why, is that it's not a real strong coffee taste. It's very mild. Yeah. It's very light. But that's,
you have to introduce people to it. So if you you have to think who you're catering for. It wouldn't be something good for us, but for someone that doesn't drink coffee very often, that's a good option. I can actually relate to that, to a story that my dad was telling me of a friend of him. He used to import and export wine. And in order to start exporting good wines to the US, in a particular area of the US, I want to say the Bible Belt, I want to say that. He was actually exporting it in tin cans. Really? So like Coca-Cola cans. Yeah. And there was Brunello in it. I mean, I'm not talking of, crappy wine. It was Brunello in it. So very good wine. But he would, because otherwise people wouldn't drink it because they were not used to it. They were used to beer that you put in the fridge and you just have a can, you open it and you drink it.
Well, it's funny you say that. In China, not long ago, I'm talking just a few years ago, like 2 or 3 or 4, maybe 5 years ago, but not long ago, they became wealthy, and people wanted to have all the things that wealthy people in the West had. So one of the things is the winemakers went over there, and they brought expensive wine. But the Chinese didn't really like the taste of it, so they would they'd mix it with Coca-Cola, and you'd see you'd see at the restaurants that have all this expensive wine. I'm talking about $500 to $1,500 a bottle kind of wine, and then they would pour it, and then the waiter would come around with a can of Coke, and so it'd be half wine and half Coke. Yeah.
Oh my God, I am glad I've never seen that in person. Then I would have been arrested.
Sacrilege. Yeah. So hey, listen, today we're going to talk about ECM machines because God, and I bought a Breville.
You actually did buy a Breville. So actually, instead of talking about ECM, I want to talk about that one.
Oh, you want to talk about that? Okay. Yes. All right, you're going to change. Ooh. Oh, you pulled the rug from under me.
You were ready, and instead you're not.
The amount of research I've just done on ECM. Damn you, Massimilio Maximin.
They mean space egg.
All right, we'll talk about that because I've been using it for several hours, and so I know everything. So I only bought it last night, mate. What do you want me to say?
Good. That's good enough.
It's a cappuccino maker. I know. I'll tell you what I'm doing. So what I bought was, I didn't buy this to keep. I bought this for a review that we're doing. I bought it's very popular.
So he says.
Well, yeah. So I say, you're right. I'm saying it. I'm telling you.
You're betraying Gadger.
So we got this. It's called the Bambino Plus. So it's the Bambino Plus. We talked about it last week, and I think I threw away a comment last week. I sort of said, well, you get, it's a lot of money. It's double the price for the word plus. and, you know, and a couple of features and a couple of buttons.
Yeah. And then you fell for it.
And I went and bought one. Here's the thing. There's a guy down the road from me I was doom scrolling eBay and Amazon looking to, you know, I always go through there thinking one day I'm going to find somebody who's going to sell like an ECM Synchronica, and he's going to be desperate and he'll take any offers. And that's really what I'm looking for. But now I was going through there.
Keep looking.
If you know anybody,
if I do, I will tell you right away. But trust me, I do the same.
Yeah. We're in this game, right? We're all doing it. We're all doing it.
I'm still hoping of finding someone that I don't know, emptied a container and found La Spaziale, and then he says, yeah,
and they don't know what it is, right?
Yeah.
And they don't know what it is.
Yeah, and they go like, yeah, cappuccino maker, 50 quid.
Yeah.
55.
Yeah. Me and my dad was an art dealer, and back in the day, those stuff happened all the time. People would have like probate sales, you know, when people died in the house, and they'd go into the house and go like, I don't know, I've got these pictures here, get an art dealer up. And people all think of art dealers as, you know, very solid people, very, you know, reliable, honest people. Crooks, mate.
Yep.
But I say this, but my dad, I mean, they're not all crooks, but there was a number. There was a type. So there would be, when people found out that there was a house clearance going up, and maybe rumors go around that there may be some, you know, some good quality paintings up there. Mm-hmm. There would be all sorts of shenanigans to get up there first and to try to secure at a good price some quality paintings, including and one time, so I'm just going to tell you very quickly, including one time this chap who went on the train who then paid the driver to not stop at the next station. So he got off the station before. All the art dealers were on the same train, my dad included, and they were all waiting. And then this new guy got off early, and everyone scoffed at him and said, oh, he's got off at the wrong stop. He's going to miss it. And then what he didn't realize is he paid the driver 10 quid to not stop at the next station. He kept on going. So he was the only one that got there and secured some, you know, old master at a bargain price. Shenanigans, I'm telling you.
Wow.
Go on.
Right. But because at that time, people didn't have Google.
Yeah, they didn't have Google. They had phone boxes as well. They didn't have mobile phones, so they couldn't, you know, call from the train. They were all just there. Stop the train. And it was, you know, it was the old days. Anyway, so I bought this. So I was doom scrolling eBay, and this guy had this. I don't know. I was actually looking at a different thingy, Breville thing. And I thought, I've got to do a review of this. I'll probably have to buy one on eBay and resell it, you know, a few weeks later. And I saw this guy saying, I was like, hold on a second, pick up only, where is this? And it was about 5 miles down the road from me. So I contacted the guy and I said, I made a cheeky offer. And I said, I'll pick it up tonight, tomorrow. He said, you've got to come tonight because tomorrow we're leaving the country. We're going back home to Moldova, I think they were from, Moldova. And so I got it at a bit of a bargain, and I just whizzed around there and picked it up. And he came out with his mask on, put it in the back of the car, and I drove off, paid him by PayPal. That's the way the world is nowadays. And so last night I was putting it together, and to tell you my first thoughts, my first impressions then of this Breville Bambino Plus is that overall, it's a nice size machine. I mean, everyone says that. It's a nice size machine. It feels nice in terms of build quality until you get to the drip tray, which feels like a piece of junk. It's all rattly and very, very thin pressed metal. And it doesn't quite, I mean, it sort of magnetically snaps in place, but then it doesn't, it just kind of falls off quite easily. And it only takes 2 cups of coffee, you know, in terms of drips. And then you've got to empty it. So it's like the world's most disappointing drip tray. They're actually going for the Guinness Book of Records. I think they're chalking up. I think pretty soon, by the end of this year, they should have got enough votes to be the most disappointing drip tray ever invented. But putting that aside, because I thought I'd just please you first, and then I'm going to hit you with all the stuff that it's good at and I'll hear, and then we'll turn up the volume, the microphone, and hear the gnashing of your teeth.
No, I don't think so.
I've never heard anybody ever gnash their teeth, and I really want to hear it because
I don't know
the Bible talks about it, and
what is gnashing teeth?
That's where you grind your teeth together, and who gnashes their teeth? Who? I've never seen anybody gnash their teeth. I'd love to see someone do it. I would.
I don't grind my teeth.
No, but if you're very angry, who does that? Except your bank manager. When you go in and ask for more money.
No, that's not because you ask for the money. That's because of nothing.
Yeah. What? Because you why?
I don't know, but under lots of pressure, people tend to do things.
Okay, this sounds like a dark secret, Max. We'll take this offline.
It's a very dark secret.
Dark.
But then they go a lot.
Oh, well, I know. I actually did. We're gonna go for another segue. I did. I went to HSBC.
And you did ecstasy with them? No.
And I did. No, I did not. I went to HSBC and talked to them about. We had an investment plan. We actually had investors, and all we wanted was a place to put the money. And we had a very well-known family investing money, and we thought it was not a problem. But it was in our business was in Eastern Europe. And as soon as I said, blah, 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 money and the amount, and it's all going to go to a business in Eastern Europe, literally this guy's face went white, because it's all like the first thing they think about is money laundering and compliance. And he says, I'll have to go and check with my compliance manager. And they got a letter from them later saying, please go away and never come back. So
it's good.
Anywho, what I like about the Bambino Plus, so it's a machine in Breville in the US, Sage in the UK, about £400, which in dollars now is about $1 million. So yeah, no, I think in dollars, I don't know, it's probably around $400 as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's at a weird price point, because it's a bit cheaper than a Gaggia Classic Pro. It's a bit cheaper. It's quite a bit cheaper than some of the other models, like the Rancilio or the the ECM Casa or something like that. It's a good $200+ cheaper, pounds, dollars, euros, and a lot of dong cheaper. Can I just say, I do automatic translation on my website. Well, no, actually, we're talking about Vietnam for Robusta coffee, and what's the currency in Vietnam? Do you know?
Gianfranco.
No, it's dong, D-O-N-G, which is also a naughty word in England. And so my website company did a site audit and said, a lot of swear words on your site. You need to fix that. You've got this word dong all over your site. It's like, yeah, that's the Vietnamese currency, you dong. So it's about £400 dollars dong, and that puts it cheaper than a classic.
Yeah, but only slightly.
But not a massive amount cheaper, right? So what are you going to get for your money? Well, I will tell you, Max, what you get for your money is not a drip tray. Not a good drip tray. Not a good drip tray. But
wait. What size is the portafilter?
The wrong size, Max. It's the wrong size. It's exactly to the millimeter the wrong size.
Yep. It's 52, isn't it?
54. Yeah, it's not 58, it's 54. 54 mils. And can I tell you, because I just went on, okay, so the first thing is that some of the machines come only with pressurized baskets, and some come with single-walled proper baskets for freshly ground coffee. So the pressurized baskets you can only use for filter coffee, and the non-pressurized, obviously, you use for ground coffee you grind yourself. And the one I got, obviously, only had the pressurized baskets in them.
Of course.
And so I went out and I bought a 54 mil basket. And I was reading because there's a few on Amazon, arrive tomorrow. There are a few on Amazon. And I was reading the descriptions to make sure I didn't, get the wrong one, what people said, etc. And they all had various descriptions that said things like perfect for pour over coffee. This filters your coffee and stops the coffee from coming through. And, like they had absolutely no idea what they were selling. It was quite worrying, I suppose. But
that kind of gives you the
idea, the clue of the level of people that are purchasing. Actually, that's unfair. It's not the level of people that are purchasing, but the market this is aimed for is not knowledgeable coffee people. But, and this is a big but, I just wanted to say that.
Dong.
But it does what it's supposed to do. It does what it's supposed to do very well. I have to say, I was actually pretty impressed. I decided to make a disgusting pressurized coffee last night because let's be honest, actually, I say that because I put my coffee snob hat on and I thought to myself as I'm driving back in the car, listening to ABBA, and I won't hear a word about it. As I'm driving along, singing along to Waterloo, I'm thinking to myself, I always poo-poo, as we say in the posh circles, in the upper circles that I move in. I always poo-poo these pressurized baskets. But
you do. I don't.
Okay. Yes, you're a better person than me, but I do.
I know. I just wanted to rub it in.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. Thank you. So I tried one. I had this coffee. I tried one last night because I thought I actually don't know what they're like. But it was actually pretty disgusting.
Was it?
It was. But having said that, I know because now you see that didn't quite go with you, didn't it? You were going to come in and go, there, I told you so. But no, it was disgusting, Max.
So how did you grind it?
I didn't grind the coffee. It was pre-ground coffee.
Where from?
Well, the guy gave me some. I didn't have any. So he gave me some that he probably had for 9 months because he said he's had the machine for 9 months. So he probably just gave me the coffee. So I'm just saying, I tried it once with the pressurized. It was pretty bad. It poured very well. I came out. It looked fantastic. I was like, this looks great.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
I would try the coffees that you have, the flavored coffees.
Oh, it's an espresso? Are you crazy? Yeah. What's wrong with you, you fool?
Try.
Well, it's not ground for that. It's ground a bit coarser.
Try.
You just want me to break it, don't you?
No. The worst case scenario is it's going to be watery.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, I'll give it a go. I'll give it a go tomorrow. Oh, wait a minute. Is this a trap? Are you trying to trick me?
No, it's not a trap. It's not a trap. The thing is, if you use a pressurized filter with a good grinder, you have to grind much coarser. So it's just messy. Because you have to forget everything and you have to go way out of your grinding to grind half decently. So you would grind it as French press, fine French press size.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I've got. That's what I got, baby.
So it might actually work.
Okay, well, I'll give it a go.
If you have it with coffee that is relatively good, that can work.
Okay. All right. We're going to do that. I'll do that and report back like a good soldier. And but I'll tell you the things that I like. I'm going to scratch my ear. Oh, that feels good. I should leave that in. Okay. No, I'll leave it in.
Leave it in. It's good.
So what do I like about it? Well, okay. I tell you what I like is you fill up the back with some water. You turn it on. It's like a few buttons to push. That's it. There's just literally a few buttons in the front. Now on the you've got a 1 cup button and a 2 cup button. I'm going to let you guess which one does which. Then you've got a button with a thermometer on it and 3 lights. And if you push the button repeatedly, it goes 1 bar light, 2 bar lights, 3 bar lights, then back to 1 bar light. Then you got another little button, which is like the little steam thingy next to it. And again, 3 lights to it, and you push it, and it goes 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, back to 1 bar. That's kind of it, right? So basically, your job is, and the portafilter, everyone talks about how bad the portafilter is. It's got a bit of plastic in it. It's got a little bit of I don't know why there's a bit of plastic in it, but it feels okay.
It's because it's pressurized, so it only releases after it reaches a certain pressure.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I've cleaned everything. So I used some cleaning agents and cleaned everything because I doubt this guy ever cleaned anything. So I did that. I tell you what I did do last night, which was hugely successful, was I steamed some milk with the auto steamer. And here's how it works. So you comes with a milk jug. The milk jug has 2 levels on it, minimum and maximum. So you put it somewhere between the 2. I mean, it's pretty kind of, again, it's kind of foolproof. I don't want to say totally foolproof because, there's always people out there who will challenge anybody's foolproof mechanism. But generally speaking, most people will know that to put it between the minimum and the maximum, depending on how much milk they want. So you fill it up there, which I did that. Then the steam wand, it's got a little rubber hook on it, it's a piece of rubber, but instead of just being a rubber sleeve, it extrudes out into with a hole to make it very easy to grab a hold of and pull it out. It is not on a ball and joint, so you don't move it around like you do with a steam wand where you're doing your own manual steaming. Because, and here's the kicker, it's a magical wand. It's a magic wand. It's a magic wand that steams automatically the level of frothiness and heat that you set with the button that we mentioned earlier.
Wow.
Yeah. And you've got your sarcastic looking, not sarcastic, your skeptical face.
No, it's my sarcastic face, but yes.
Okay.
Close.
All right.
They're close.
Yeah. Okay. And so you fill up the milk. There's a little button with a sensor in it on the drip tray to the right. So you pull the steam wand out because remember it only goes one way, and it kind of clicks out. So it's got a little thunk out, and then you put the steam wand in and thunk puts it back. And because it goes thunk, it doesn't really fit, you know what I mean? It goes into place. Yep. There is no, is it backwards a bit? Is it forwards a bit? It is thunk into place.
It thunks in place.
It thunks in place. and then the steam jug, the milk jug, is sitting on the little sensor thing. Okay. Right. And because the milk jug is on the sensor, and the steam wand can only thunk into place in one place, it's automatically positioned in the right place.
Yes.
So then you hit the button. So you choose what steam setting you want. And you've got sort of lower heat, you've got a medium frothy, and then you've got like super frothy. So I went medium, which I thought would be probably about right for a latte, do a bit of latte art.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I pushed the button and I waited a while. It's not fast. It's not fast, but you know what? It's a minute or so, right? So let's say it takes a minute. I will time it, but it's about a minute, which is quite a long time. But in the scheme of things, who cares? Like a minute is fine to wait because it does it automatically for you. And I tell you what, it is not as good as the milk I steam, obviously, because I'm a master. It is not as good. And I've steamed a lot of milk, so I actually do know how to steam milk. I'm not a master, but I can take a manual steam wand and I can stretch milk properly for a latte, and I can stretch milk properly for cappuccinos. I can also screw it up, but I can generally, especially if I've been practicing for a little bit, I can generally nail pretty good milk. But with this one, put it in, you push a button, you walk away, and you read a book or do something else, and make your bacon and eggs, and it'll beep or something when it's finished, and you go, and you walk over, and guess what? It's not bad. It's actually pretty good. All you need to do is wipe the wand down, and then you don't need to purge it, because when you put it back in, I won't say purge it. I mean, it does purge it. It kind of dribbles. It's a bit of a disappointing purge. I was expecting that's what you want. And you're like, yeah, purge that.
Instead it goes.
Instead it just dribbles water. Yeah. And you're like, oh, okay. But you know, it does it so you don't forget. And that's the sort of exactly the sort of thing that people who want to know nonsense, cappuccino in the morning or whatever else.
Yes.
But
And then they end up posting the bloody thing on Instagram saying, "Look, I'm a barista."
yeah, well, no, it's all right. Good for them. Maybe they'll improve their skills and move up.
Zero skill involved in all
Yeah,
of
but
in all of this.
everyone's got to start somewhere, Max. You know, got to start somewhere. So
I disagree.
You disagree that everyone's got to start somewhere?
You should start properly with something that requires skill, and then you learn. And once you learn it, it's like, wow, I come a long way. Not
All
from
right.
press the button.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I think that I think there's a place for this, and I have no problems. If people get into coffee, maybe for a year or so, they're going to do this. They're going to be very happy, maybe for 2 years, and then maybe at some point, some of those people will say, you know what, I want to up my game a little bit, and then they'll join the club, and then we can be friends with them. But so I think it's a gateway potentially. Look, it serves two purposes. One, if somebody doesn't know how to do coffee, it's going to be intimidating. I've got to get they're going to have to get a grinder anyway. But putting all this together and learning everything is time consuming. We know it's a hobby and it's time consuming. Some people will want to start with something like this where they can actually get decent coffee out of it. And I'll yet to test that because I've got to do I've got to wait for the basket to come, the single wall basket, and do some tests there. But I've got a feel that it's going to make half decent coffee.
What pressure does it go to?
I will have to check because of course, with the pressurized basket, it must be pushing something like 15 bars.
Yeah.
When it goes with a single wall basket, it won't know unless, no, it won't know.
No, it doesn't know. So if there isn't an overpressure valve.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Well, look, the truth will be in the tasting, and I'll see what it comes through like. But compared to, and for 400 pounds, actually, it's an interesting point. For 400 pounds, you would really want a machine that's going to be doing 9 bar or so.
Yes.
It's a lot of money. Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Because at the end of the day, 400 pounds. I think you can get an Oscar 2 for 600.
Yeah.
And it's a way better machine.
It is, but you can't just push a button and have it do all the work for you.
That is true. It requires some skill. But it doesn't require that much skill, to be honest.
People don't know that though. And what they really want is like, okay, maybe it's like people say to me all the time, things like, you should change the oil on your motorbike. It's really not that hard. I still take it to the garage because I'm afraid what's going to happen is I'm going to take the sump nut off or something. It's going to then somehow drop inside the engine, even though it's upside down. Like the gravity will defy me. And somehow the thing will fall inside and I'll be like, oh, you didn't use it, or I'll tighten it and I'll over tighten it because I didn't use a torque wrench, or I'll screw it up somehow. This is just my fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the time I drove off with the chain still on the back. My security chain. And I got all
but someone pointed it out to you right away.
Someone pointed it out to me right away, which was very helpful of them as I'm stuck in the middle of the road trying to pull the chain, which is now entangled in my chain, my security chain, off the chain of the bike. And somebody drove past and said, your chain's stuck in your bike. I was like, yeah, I'm not pulling it up.
You've got 4 rounds. Yeah, you've got 4 round wheels.
It was literally like,
what do you mean? I don't know.
I don't think I've ever been, it was the most obvious statement that anyone's ever said to me. It was very weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, look, the proof's going to be in the tasting of this coffee.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This is not going to be a machine for fine single estate, high altitude, magnificent geisha coffee. This is not that machine. But for a decent bean that they're buying down the supermarkets now, because more and more is becoming available, get a decent bean. Go get yourself a Breville grinder or a Baratza or whatever grinder, and start making some espresso shots. Let's start making some cappuccinos. Probably most people who are buying this machine are not going to be super into espresso. I've got to say, most of them will be doing the milk-based drinks.
Yeah.
And so, to some degree, the nuances of the fine espresso at 15 bar or 9 bar will be lost when they neutralize that with the milk. Wouldn't you say?
Mm-hmm. I agree. Another thing is I forgot.
Oh, okay, that's an interesting point. I disagree with it, though. In fact, I vehemently disagree with it, Max, and I take offense. So
I forgot completely what I wanted to say.
Yeah, you know where you are, though, right? You know where you are. You're in a safe place.
I don't know who I am, but I know how fast I'm going.
Yeah, you do. I was watching Russian television. We started watching RT now just for entertainment. This guy was coming on trying to explain to this newsreader how time wasn't a constant. It was the funniest thing. He's saying, "But look, if I have this watch and I hold one watch higher than the other watch and bring it back down, it's a different time." And the newsreader in RT is like, "I have no idea what you're talking about. Why? Who brought this guy on?"
It's like, who is this one?
Who is this guy? Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to be writing up a review of the Breville or the Sage Bambino Plus. I'm not disappointed in it. I think it's very fit for purpose. The only thing that's disappointing to me immediately is the drip tray, but the rest of it looks nice. It's easy to function. One button, push the buttons a few times, and
that's what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, it's very easy.
What are the three levels in the first bit? Because you have frothiness. What's the other one?
Brew temperature.
Aha. So you have a PID inside. Wow.
It's got a PID inside, and
Wait,
I think it changes it by.
Or is it
it's a
three
PID.
different thermocouples?
No, I'm pretty sure it's a PID, and I think it does it to a reasonably consistent way. I think there's a couple of degrees difference, so you've got like a 6. I have to go and check that, but it's something like a 6-degree range that you can go between, which is as much as you're going to need. So basically, you've got a dark roast. You put it on the lower setting. You've got a lighter roast. You put it on the higher setting, and it just. The Breville engineers know what they're doing. I got to say, they know what they're doing. They know exactly who their market is. They've done their focus groups or whatever it is they've done, and they're doing things in a way that's different from other companies. And they are innovating. I do think these things are innovative, and I do think they're useful to a lot of people. Maybe not for you and me, but they're useful to a lot of people. But I'd still slightly balk at the price. I mean, if it was, I don't know, £275, $285, that sort of thing, I would be like, this is a no-brainer for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
But it's at that range where it's just like, for £100 more, and I know that's not the market, but it's like, but still, for £100 more.
Yeah. I mean, to me, it's exactly the price point. I don't see the quality or the price that you would get. I don't see where the money goes.
The money goes. We talked about this. It goes into his money pit, so he can dive around and swim in his money pit every morning like Scrooge McDuck. And if I ever meet him, I'm going to deny I said this. I'm going to say, "You're mixing me up with Max." Max said that, sir.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But no. So I think it's the other point really valid point worth bringing up in this. You go buy yourself a Gaggia Classic Pro or a Rancilio Silvia. Or an ECM Casa, right? All of these ones are around the 500 to 600 range. Yeah. So basically about 100 to 200 more maximum. And you're going to get yourself a machine that will last you a decade or more. A decade.
Yeah.
This machine, if you take care of it, of course, but it's not that hard to do, to learn how to take care of a machine. You don't have to do a lot. You just have to do it regularly.
You'll be surprised.
I don't know. I mean, I've had coffee machines for years. My dad had that Lapavoli, whatever it is, lever machine.
Yeah, the Europiccola.
That's the one. He had that for like 40 years.
You did. Your dad did.
What are you saying?
Well, I've had machines in my hands that are 10, 15 years old, and you look at them and you look like, has this ever seen a descaler or a backflush?
Yeah, but I'm saying descaling and backflushing is not hard to do. I do it every week.
Yes, doing it is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
When people do it.
Yeah,
but yeah. There is a lot of misconception on how to take care of things.
I got you. I was saying, okay, yeah. So you, like everything else, everything else. You drive a car, you never take it to be serviced. You don't expect it to not break down. No matter how good it is, eventually something will go wrong. Mm-hmm. And same thing with coffee machines, like anything else. But the point is that these machines, the Gaggias, the ECMs, the Profitex, Rancilios, etc., those have the capability to last a decade. They have the potential. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Sage machines, having looked at a few of them now, my son owns a Barista Express, my friend Adrian owns a Barista Pro. I got this Bambino Pro. I've looked at if they feel okay, but there's just something about it that's like they're whispering to me. I'm an espresso whisperer. I don't know if I told you this. And they whisper to me that I'm going to break down just after the warranty expires.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
They look plasticky to me. What is it made of?
Plastic.
I don't know. It looks shiny. Could be metal.
Yeah, sometimes it's very hard. Sometimes the metal is so cheap, you're not even sure if it's metal or plastic. So I can't say. I can say the drip tray is metal, but I'd almost prefer it was plastic because it's the thinnest little stamped, tinny little metal that you just you're afraid when you put it in, you're going to bend it, and it's not a good feel. It's not a good feel. There's no premium materials used on parts of that machine. There's some parts that feel fine, like the main body of the machine feels reasonably solid. But other stuff just feels sort of like the portafilter itself. You look inside and there's plastic bits, and then the trays just the very, very thin stamped metal and plastic. And you just kind of think one day all this is going to break. I don't know how, but it just will. You'll wake up one day and it won't work.
How heavy is the portafilter?
How what?
Heavy.
It's not particularly heavy. It's got a nice feel. It's got a nice engagement when you pull it in. It's got a nice.
That's just because it's well machined, but the weight of it is actually quite important.
I know, for the thermal consistency. Yes. And I can tell you, it was very interesting because it heats up so quickly. Mm-hmm. You don't get that. So it heats up very quickly. So it heats up in 3 seconds or whatever it is, right? So it's got the thermo siphon, thermo block, thermo thing, thermocoil. And so it heats up like almost instantly, which is really impressive. But of course, your basket doesn't heat up in that time at all. And there's no E61 group head on this thing, right? There may be a PID on the basket. I'm not really sure. That's kind of interesting. So I have to go and take a look to see where the PID is, because they obviously are. You can control the temperature, and there's no boiler to control. So what is the PID measuring? It must be
in the boiler and on the top of the machine, like in the Gaggia. They have the same design. There is a boiler sitting on top of the brew head, and the water is diverted either to the steam or to the brewing unit.
Yeah.
The portafilter itself actually heats up because the brewing unit is heated up by the
possibly like I definitely know that's how some of them work. I want to go and check, because Brill does have a way of doing things a bit differently. So I'm going to go and check that. But I can tell you that when I was brewing a shot after look, if the thing heats up in 3 seconds, there ain't no way that group head is warm.
No. There's no way that the water inside it is warm, equilibrated.
It's not equilibrated, no. So, and I think the way a lot of people are going to use this is like, hey, it heats up in 3 seconds. So they switch it on, they put their coffee in. So you're probably going to wait 10 seconds. They put it, they tamp it with the horrible tamper that comes with it. And, you know, but that's not so important. And then they put it in and they make their coffee in a cold cup, probably. And that's how it's going to be. I don't think you're going to, most people are going to be the types of people that are going to fuss over getting the best extraction. What they're going to be doing is they're going to want to see that the extraction looks good. Then they're going to go, wow, that looks just like it does on the YouTube videos. Then they're going to put a bunch of milk in it and go, I think, actually. Yeah. But I will be tasting the espressos and slurping it as I'll probably do. Yeah, I'll probably do that with a bunch of different coffees. Talking of which, it's right at the end. I meant to say this at the beginning. Oops. I just ordered another half kilo from Gerald.
Wow.
Yeah, the Burundi.
That is very interesting, isn't it? So I didn't want to say this loud, but. And actually, it's totally my fault that I replied to Gerald in my own mind, but I never replied to his email.
You jerk.
I know. I'm a busy person. I'm just forgetful. I'm not busy. I'm just forgetful. Yeah, so we did get these as a preview, and so I found it very interesting. But that's as much as I'm gonna say about this coffee. I really appreciated actually Gerard doing the effort and just sending us a little bit of coffee. I really love people like him that have so much enthusiasm about what they do, and roasters like him. We need more of them.
Yeah, they do. Actually, you know what? Most of the roasters are good.
Yes.
They're a bunch of good eggs. As I say, I have to say, I don't meet many roasters that I don't like because they're so passionate and they know coffee.
Exactly. And I absolutely love Gerard because he's just so enthusiastic. He's like, tries new things. And he always, often, I notice he's the one that comes up with these very interesting flavors out of coffee beans that I don't know how he manages.
Yeah. Well, he does a great hot chocolate as well. But I say, like, I'm not going to be coy. You obviously don't like his Burundi. So there's probably something wrong with you because
I loved it.
Oh, you did?
What
you're saying I'm not going to say anything about it. I was like, oh, you're trying to be polite.
This one here that we got.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I loved it too. I thought it was really good.
Since we didn't pay for it, I just wanted to.
Oh, it's a freebie. I'm getting lots of freebies now, Max. Finally, I've hit the big time. And, look, Gerald just sent it for free. And so, but then we can talk about it because I also went back and bought some. But we just have to say, look, we got it for free. But I think people know us enough now that I don't really care whether it's free or not free. If we didn't like it, we would say so. We'd say politely.
It's a very interesting coffee that actually tastes like tea leaves. I made it also as a pour over. I loved it like that.
I haven't tried it as a pour over. I was just making espresso with it. What's it like as a pour over? What? Tell us.
So I think I did it too early. So it was literally as soon as it touched the water, it went.
Okay.
But after a while, it was very interesting because it comes through. Obviously, it's not the same roasting profile. When you do pour over and espresso, they actually have different roasting. I'm saying that because I've seen that you can actually choose the two. I don't know the details of it.
Yeah.
But anyway. As a pour over, it comes through very, very mild, and it gets these really distinctive black tea flavor.
Yeah,
I loved it. It's really interesting.
It was. Have you had other Burundis?
Yes, I finished.
Did it taste like other Burundis to you?
Ooh, other Burundis. I don't remember having any other Burundis.
All right, so let me tell you, I've had a few other Burundis, not lots, probably I think 2 other Burundis. One, which is one of my dad's favorite, is from the roaster in Notting Hill Gate, whose name is now completely. It's
Gervasio.
No. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. So, because we're talking about Gerald and Peaberry coffee. So Peaberry coffee, yeah. And so anyway, the other Burundis I had tasted very Burundi. I say that because I had two of them, and they both had a very much a similar kind of taste. One was actually just made for me with my friend's coffee shop, and so they had these two Burundis I've had, and they were both like, oh yeah, I started to associate very much that taste with Burundi. And Gerald's was different. It was kind of like a cousin to the Burundi. So it's kind of like you turn up to a party and the family's there, and they go, oh, have you met my cousin? And you see him and you think, oh, well, there's a family resemblance there. Clearly he's a Mr. Burundi, but it's but he's not an exact Burundi. It was a bit like that. But I really liked it. What I had trouble dialing it in because it ran very fast. And so
yes, it was running very fast. I had to grind very fine. And then I went back to another coffee with the same grind and I forgot. And I didn't have any coffee.
Yeah. That's right. I did that as well. So by the time I got it, I tried dialing it in. I was packing in a lot of coffee. I was doing triple shots.
Ooh.
That were quite fine grinds. And then in the end, actually, I tried taking it back down. I put it back into a double basket.
Mm-hmm.
I ran it for a little bit less time. I think I put 17.5 grams in.
Yeah. I go with 18 and it works.
Yeah.
I tried 14.
Right.
Bad idea.
No, it's a bad idea. I was also making good coffee with 21 grams in a triple basket. And so, but oh, nice. I love it. Yeah. But I would say, but it was good enough. I thought to myself, I could do with this in the mornings. It's a strong enough, got a lovely mouthfeel to it. So I'm really grateful for Gerald for hooking us like a drug dealer, like a crack cocaine dealer. If the first taste is free from Gerald. And so I thought, but I'll reward him with like I'll buy another half a kilo because I liked it. Why not?
Yeah.
I'm also going to purchase, I forgot, but I got to do this. You told me last week what Carvetti coffees you're drinking. And some of them I hadn't had. And I was going to put them on my list.
Oh, they're very nice, those ones. Yes.
Well, what are they?
Very nice.
Was it the latitude? I want something
latitude,
different.
Solitude, and fortitude, but no magnitude.
Wait, was there a fortitude?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll go check it out. So the solitude and the fortitude I haven't had. What are they like? Which is better?
Fortitude I prefer because it's nut and chocolate, but both of them are actually quite chocolatey. So they're quite interesting coffees.
Okay. All right. I'll try one, and then after that I'll try the other. Yeah. I'll try the fortitude first.
But to all of the roasters, both of them that are listening to us, please keep stretching yourself. This is a brilliant thing that you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very good. We just did I can't really talk about it. I just did an interview, but I'm sort of under not embargo, but I haven't. I can't really talk about it.
Okay,
so that was
I had
useful.
something very interesting to say, but I can't say it.
Yeah, I know, that was really useful. I started saying, I was like, shit, how do I get myself out of this one?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
But what about it? Tell us more.
I will tell you. I tell you that I did another interview this last week with a few people on who are in the industrial side of the coffee processing industry, and I sort of told a bit of a dirty joke on the call. It didn't go down very well.
You said a dirty joke.
Well, it wasn't a dirty joke. Actually, the thing is, the sad thing was it wasn't a joke. It was actually a true story, but it involved a condom, and I don't think it went over very well.
Yeah, when it involves a condom, kind of.
Yeah, but it was a good story, and it was relevant. It wasn't like I just pulled it. I didn't just pull it out like hey, I'm going to tell you a story about a condom. It was actually relevant to the context of what we were talking about, I thought. But then, when you're looking and all the faces are just they're blank.
You go
like, I imagine it's a bit like doing stand-up comedy when you're not funny.
Yeah.
You're thinking, you're on stage, you got the mic, it's just the sound of someone's chair squeaking and someone walks out the room and you're thinking to yourself, Nah, I need to try something else. I need to get another job. It's a bit like that. Oh, Max, I think we should wrap it up, buddy. So we'll see you next week, Max, in which case, Nick, you cannot escape this discussion on ECM for long.
I will try.
So I really did a lot of research as well.
Oh,
I think it's only because you didn't do your homework. It's because you didn't do your homework. You didn't want to change the subject. I know.
Didn't do my homework.
I knew it. You'll be graded next week, though. You'll be graded. Okay. So send it in. And so enjoy your week.
You too, mate?
Yep. I'm going to have to, oh God, I'm going to have to come. When is lockdown going to end again?
Is it?
No, maybe never. Snow today, though. Snow today.
It snowed today, yes. There was a lot of people sideways.
There are a lot of people going all over the place. So I need to come down and see you and give you stuff and pick up stuff and things like that. So we'll find out when that's possible to do.
Yeah, take it
obviously,
easy.
Yeah. You take it easy too, Max, and give my very, very best to your lovely wife. I still can't believe she puts up with you for this long. It's amazing. She must be a saint.
She is.
And next week we'll talk about ECMs, and you'll have to talk me down from buying one of your hand grinders.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You will.
I said talk me down from it, Max. God.
But they're brilliant. I haven't used my grinders ever since.
Now
I've never turned them on.
Okay.
They're for sale.
All right. Have a great week, buddy. Talk to you later.
You too. Bye.